The Minnesota Vikings are taking on the LA Rams in Arizona on Monday night. Yes, I know it's because of the fire, but of course the Vikings would benefit from something with this. But um, we're gonna go over the game like we always do. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I just don't think the Rams are gonna have enough to win. I think they have a chance still. I'm not counting them out, but let's be honest. Despite what Sam Darnold did last week, if he's going to collapse in the playoffs, which will happen, I promise you it will happen, just not going to happen against the Rams. Because the Vikings are just the better team. Yes, I know the Rams beat them early in the year, but this is a different Viking team than then. And the Vikings, yes, they lost last week, but they were playing against the Lions, who are coming in and getting healthy right at the right time. And the Vikings just shit themselves last week. Absolutely just crapped their pants last week. It was not close. The Vikings just completely crapped the bed in the second half, and as a result, they are not the number one seed, and they are playing this week. Yes, technically they are the road team, but let's be honest. I mean, I'm sure the Vikings fans would rather be in Arizona because at the very least it's a neutral site game, and apparently there are a lot of Vikings fans in Arizona. Now, we all know the Rams don't have a lot of fans as is, and it would have been nice for them to get a home game because, they earned it. They won their division, so by default, they should be playing at home. But because of the fires and the Democrats' terrible policies, the game has to be moved, and the Vikings will obviously probably end up benefiting from it. Just let's go over the teams like we always do. Sam Darnold has had a better year this year than Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford has had a pretty good year, all things considered, but let's be honest, the last couple of weeks he has left a lot to be desired, and their offense has kind of cooled down. It's kind of acted like a kitten coming out in the last couple of weeks. I mean, Puka Nacua has had some good games, but Cooper Kupp has fallen off a fucking cliff this year. I mean, he's just has not been the same. One of the big busts of the NFL season. He had a couple games for fantasy owners, but just too few and far between. And I'm sure a lot of you probably lost or didn't do as well because you drafted Cooper Kupp really high. Um, running back wise, Kieran Williams is a great running back. He's a great back. He can do it all. Aaron Jones is a great running back. Can do it all. That's probably 1-1 even right there. Wide receivers. Justin Jefferson has been one of the best wide receivers in the league. Yes, he got shut down last week, but against the Rams' battered secondary, he should be able to go off. Jordan Addison should be able to go off as well. Of course, like I said, the Rams still have Puka Nacua. He is a up and coming talent in this league, and if you are playing Dynasty, he would be a good pick to going forward because he's just going to get better and better next year as long as he can stay healthy. Cooper Kupp, who knows what's going to happen with him? I mean, they got plenty of guys looking to make big strides next year for the Rams. You got uh, Whittington and you got Tutu Atwell, who is not a great wide receiver by any stretch of the imagination, but he has made some plays the last couple plays or weeks, and he's looking to make a bigger stance going into next year. Jake Higbee has had a game or two. Tyler Higbee has had a couple games lately. Um, but yeah, the Rams, their offensive line is battered for sure. Has been playing better for the most part this year compared to other seasons, but that secondary, that pass rush, they're going to be all over the Rams on Monday night. They're going to give Matt Stafford a lot to be looking forward to, and he's not going to like it. They're going to be able to get to Matt Stafford on a couple occasions, probably force a couple of turnovers, and I mean, I like the Rams' chances in this game. I mean, still, technically, they are the higher seed, but let's be honest. The Rams beating the Vikings earlier in the year probably was a fluke, at least a little bit. Vikings weren't playing well. One of the Sam Darnold's not great games of the year. And as a result, the Rams came away with a sneaky victory. But, I mean, does anybody really believe that the Rams are a better team than the Vikings? I don't. And as much as it pains to me to say this, but Vikings are just a better team. Their defense is easily one of the best in the league, and sure, and they held up pretty well last week, all things considered. I mean, it was really the offense that really lost the Vikings the game last week. It wasn't the defense. The defense came away with a couple turnovers last week, but I mean, just not enough. And the Lions just blew them out in the second half. But I just don't see that happening. Now, if Matthew Stafford is able to bring back what he did um, towards the middle of the season, they have a good chance to win. But if they look like the way he has the last couple of weeks, I just don't see any reason why the Vikings wouldn't win this game. I'm not counting the Rams out. They still got some good pieces on defense. Jared Verse and Fisk have both had great seasons as rookies, teammates at Florida State, but just a lot of injuries in that secondary, a lot of injuries just all over the defense, and even still, even with a full defense, the Rams are probably middle of the road and the bottom 2/3 of the league. They're not great by any stretch of the imagination. They've had good games this year, but just not a lot of consistency from the defense. And the only way the Rams are going to win this game is if their offense gets off early and scores. That's the only way they're going to win. They have to be able to keep up with the Vikings because the Vikings have so many weapons. They can attack you in so many different ways. I didn't mention Hawkinson, but he's still a great tight end. He was a couple of missed opportunities away from breaking open a couple of big plays last week and maybe even a touchdown that would have helped the Vikings eventually. But really, it was Sam Darnold's fault that the Vikings lost last week. And I mean, sure, like I said, he's going to probably fail at some point in the playoffs because that's what the Vikings MO. They're also like the Chargers in the same way. They always look really good, then they come to the playoffs and they get eliminated. And I mean, let's remember that the Vikings were the original Buffalo Bills, losing 4 times in the 70s, and like 4 times in like an 8-year period. Yikes, that's really rough. I just don't think they're gonna lose. I was prepared to say vote for the Rams, go Rams. I'll still be rooting for the Rams to win this game, but let's be honest, the Vikings are the better team, and I just don't see a way for the Rams to win other than if the Viking or the offense is able to get off the schneid, and the defense is maybe able to force a turnover or two. Once that happens, yeah. Now, I don't think it's going to be a blow up by any means. I think the Rams will be able to keep up for the most part, but it'll probably be one of those games where the Vikings are up 7 late. The Rams make a mistake. Matthew Stafford throws an interception, maybe turns into a pick six or something, or at least another field goal. Like I said earlier, I think the Vikings still do have a kicking problem, at least a little bit, not a big one, but I mean it's growing. I mean, couple games in a row with missed kicks, and it's not an issue yet, but it may just be going later on when they're not playing at home in the Dome and they're playing on the road in Philly or somewhere like that. But I think Will Riker probably gets like a big kick at some point in this game, and they go up by 10, and the Rams just don't have enough time to really make a comeback. It's probably gonna be one of those games. No blow up by any means, but in the end, I think the Vikings win 34-27, something like that. Yeah, I still get the Rams a good chance to win, but like I said, unless their offense is able to get back to what they were during the middle of the season, yeah, I just don't think it's gonna happen. But let me know what you think down in the comments below from both Rams and Vikings fans. But Vikings, you'll get the win this week. But we'll see what happens in the second week. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Otherwise, have a great day. And as always, go Pack Go, and God bless.